Board meeting for June 23rd. Mrs. Strowski, would you please call our roll?
Dr. Ozello. Present. Mr. Peters.
Present.
Ms. Hardiman.
Present.
Mrs. Greiner.
Present.
Mr. Kozire.
Present.
Ms. Myers.
Present.
Mr. Tripp.
Here. And if you would all stand and join with me in a moment of silence followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. First up tonight, I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
I move that the board approves the agenda as presented.
Thank you.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion regarding the agenda? Seeing as there is none, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. And the agenda is approved. Next, we have approval of minutes, a special meeting of May 21, 2026 and May 22, 2026, work session, regular business meeting, and special meetings of May 26, 2026, and special meeting of June 5, 2026. Is there a motion?
I move for the approval of the minutes from the special meetings of May 21st, 2026 and May 22nd, 2026, the work session and regular business meeting and special meetings of May 26, 2026, and special meeting of June 5th, 2026, to be approved as presented.
Thank you.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion regarding those meeting minutes? Seeing as there is none, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Minutes are approved. Next, we have public participation. This is an opportunity for members of the public to address the board regarding any agenda items or any other matters of concern. Or is there anybody in the audience who wishes to come forward and speak tonight? Seeing as there is none, we will move on. Superintendent's report. Dr. Murillo.
Thank you, Mr. Tripp. I'm so excited about this evening. We're celebrating some pretty talented students that we have here this evening, and I'd like Ms. Comine to come to the podium. These are students that have really qualified for our state track meet. And so, Ms. Comine, we look forward to hearing about the good news of the accomplishments that these students have achieved.
Thank you, Dr. Murillo, and good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Tonight, we are proud to recognize student athletes from Abraham Lincoln High School and Thomas Jefferson High School who earned the opportunity to compete at the 2026 Iowa School State Track and Field Championships held this past May 21st through 23rd at Drake Stadium in Des Moines. Qualifying for the state meet means joining the very best athletes in Iowa, and these students represented their schools and community with pride. At this time, I'd like to invite President Tripp and Superintendent Dr. Murillo to join me by the podium. Let's begin with our Abraham Lincoln High School state qualifiers. First, the AL Girls 4x100 meter relay team. Girls, when I call your name, please come up to be recognized. The first person is Anna Watkins. JJ Adler. And JJ is playing softball in Sioux City, I believe, tonight. Savannah Moline. And Alex Mazo. This team showed that speed gets you noticed, but teamwork gets you to state. Along the way, these talented athletes also broke the Abraham Lincoln High School girls 4x100 meter relay school record this season, a remarkable achievement that will be part of the school's history for years to come. Congratulations to this outstanding team on an outstanding season and on earning your place among Iowa's elite track athletes. Congratulations. Next, our AL boys shuttle hurdle relay team. Sorry. Let me say that again. Our AL boys shuttle hurdle relay team. And boys, when I call your name, please come forward to be recognized. Chris Lee. Mason Shields. Zed Wolf. And Reed Rao. Anyone who has ever watched the shuttle hurdle relay knows it requires speed, timing, courage, and a little trust that everyone will clear their hurdles. Congratulations to this tremendous team for their tremendous accomplishment and a season to remember. Congratulations. Now let's recognize our Thomas Jefferson High School state qualifiers and medalists. Our first person is Ellie Wunderlich. Ellie delivered one of the most impressive performances of the state meet, earning the title of Iowa State Champion in the 400-meter para wheelchair event. And she wasn't finished there. She also captured silver medals, that is plural, in both the 100-meter and 200-meter para wheelchair events, bringing home 3 state medals from Drake Stadium. Ellie, your determination, hard work, and competitive spirit inspire us all. Congratulations on an incredible state championship performance. I can, yeah. Okay. Yep, do one and stay up there. And finally from TJ is Brenea Jarman. Brenea earned qualification to compete at the Iowa State Track and Field Championships in the girls' discus event. Reaching the state meet is a testament to months of her dedication, her training, and perseverance. Brenea represented Thomas Jefferson High School with pride, and we congratulate her on this outstanding achievement. Congratulations for that.
Oh my gosh, yes, coaches, for sure.
Take your sunglasses off.
It was encroaching on my space.
Our superintendent report? Congratulations again to our students. Have a fantastic summer. Thanks for coming tonight.
Sorry.
Do you have anything, Kate? Oh. Thank you, Mr. Tripp, for allowing us to celebrate our students. And now I'd like to invite Dr. Matthews to the podium. This evening, since we only have one board meeting in the summer months, we will also have our presentations during that same board meeting instead of having the work session. And tonight, we're really excited about presenting our spring 25-26 NWA MAP results. So Dr. Matthews, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Dr. Murillo, and good evening. It is my pleasure to be providing the results of our 2026 Spring NWA MAP assessment with you all tonight. As a reminder, and as I always do, I will just begin with that brief overview of what the MAP assessment is. So this is our universal screener that is administered 3 times per year in the areas of reading, math, and science. And it really does provide that roadmap for teachers and administrators as we analyze the results at the individual student level, the classroom level, grade level, by school, and then by the system as a whole to see what kind of progress we're making. And particularly at the end of the year, we love to celebrate that success and growth from fall to spring, and then plan what we will do in the fall to start strong as a result. Also, it does measure overall performance as well as that individual student growth. So even if students are not quite performing at the level that is considered proficient, we want to make sure that they're growing at an appropriate level to close that gap. This directly aligns with District Strategic Goal 1 to improve academic achievement, which we use 3 different metrics to measure. That first one is around the percentage of students who are scoring in those top 3 bands, average, average, or high. And our goal for this school year was to have 65% of our students in those top 3 bands at all 3, reading, math, and science. And I do always leave that distribution of test scores across quintiles as that reminder of why we consider this a stretch goal, because when we have even distribution of a national assessment like this, 20% of students who are assessed across the nation are in each of those bands. So statistically, you will only have 60% of students in the nation in those top 3 bands. We're stretching to 65%. Our second metric is that 60% or more of students will achieve their individual growth targets. And again, that's that stretch goal because we know, because of how those goals are set and how they're compared to their peer groups, only 50% of students who are assessed can actually meet their growth targets. And then finally, because we believe all students can and will learn, we set that goal of 100% of students demonstrating some growth. So we will get into our results. First is that overview of our progress toward those Goal 1 metrics in all 3 areas. So beginning with that first goal of the percentage of students scoring average, average, or high. In the area of math, we did finish with 61.4% of our students in those top 3 bands, exceeding that 60% norm, not quite to our 65% goal. In reading, we are at 62.5% there, so similar story. And then with science, we are at 60.63%. I do just want to point out this is the first time in the spring that we have been over 60% in all 3 content areas. So that is very exciting. Even though we're just shy of that goal, we are moving in the right direction. When we look at our goal of the percentage of students achieving those growth targets in each area, again, we are above that norm, the national expectation of 50% in all 3 areas, but shy of our goal of 60%. So we had 52.4% in math, just shy of 52% in reading, and then 56.06% in science. For the percentage of students demonstrating all growth, we were at 86.18% in math, just shy of 73% in reading, and just shy of 67% in science. I will note that science typically has our lowest scores for achieving growth targets and demonstrating growth. This year it's our highest for growth targets, and we did increase the percentage of students demonstrating growth. We only test those higher grade levels in science where we know that RIT score is already set a little higher, so it's a little more difficult to attain that, but just wanted to point that out. Another note I will make before we get into each individual area is that we are really looking at this year as baseline data again, because the norms were reset and they had not been reset since 2020. This is also our first year that we are not assessing kindergarten with MAP because we had to use a different approved screener that the state allows for kindergarten. So we'll start with our celebrations in math. We did increase 1.29% more students were in those top 3 bands in the spring than were in the fall. So that is a great celebration to know that we were making that progress with those students, maintaining those who were proficient and then adding some more to that group. When we look at that across grade levels, 6 of the grade levels and the district average are surpassing the 60% mark in those top 3 bands, and 5 grade levels met or exceeded our goal of 65%. Those were 1st, 3rd, 4th, 9th, and 10th. You will notice that 7th grade is an area of focus. You can see that they are lower than the other grade levels there. You will notice that with our growth as well, and I'll talk a little bit about our plans for that grade level. When we look at the comparison of fall, which is that purple band, to spring, which is that teal band, you can see that we had a lot of great movement and celebration in most of our grade levels there. We were able to see increases from fall to spring in all but 3 of those grade levels. One of those is 7th grade, which I had pointed out on the previous slide, and then 9th and 10th grade had slight decreases. They did have our highest start ever in the fall, and they were still able to maintain that 65%, but definitely something we want to continue to watch. When we look at the second metric, which is the percentage of students meeting those growth targets, again, I put that teal line to show the 50% national norm that we can expect, and then the gold line for our 60% goal, that stretch goal for us. In grades 1 through 6th and 8th grade, as well as our district as a whole, we exceeded that national average of 50% of students meeting their expected growth targets. We had 2 grade levels surpass our stretch goal of 60%, and those were our 2nd and 3rd grade students. And then finally, when we look at the percentage of students making any growth, what we see here is kind of a little bit of the typical what we expect to see higher at those elementary levels. But I want to point out 8th grade as a standout for our secondaries, where they are exceeding more than 80% of those students are making any growth. This is the 2nd year in a row that we have seen that for that 8th grade group. So very excited to see that. Also want to point out that 99.8% of our 1st grade students demonstrated growth from fall to spring. I like to round, so I'm going to call that 100%. We're really excited about that. All elementary grades were above 95%, and this is the 2nd year in a row for that. I did point out 7th grade, and that will be a continued area of focus. This cohort of students is one that is improving, and we were working with them from 6th grade to 7th grade on that transition as well. We are very excited that we had 7th graders who participated in a math support camp this summer that just concluded last Friday, and they were very positive about that experience and feel very confident about having a strong start going into 8th grade. We also have class-wide interventions that are really targeted on those key 7th grade learnings that we will be able to start right away in the fall with our 8th grade students, using that extra time that we allow in the bell schedule for our middle school students beyond their core instruction to make sure that we are closing those achievement gaps. Looking at reading next, we have such a great celebration here with an increase of 3.33% more students in those top 3 bands in reading this spring than were in the fall. As I mentioned before, that we are at 62.5% in those top 3 bands. This is not only the greatest fall to spring increase in reading that we have had since we began administration, it's also our highest spring results in reading to date. When we look at the distribution by grade level, it is a little bit more evenly distributed here in the area of reading. All grade levels are at or above 50%. All but 2 grade levels are at or above 60%. And we do have 4 grade levels exceeding our end of year goal of 65% compared to 1 grade level last year. So great progress in this area. Again, we look at fall to spring by grade level, with fall being that blue bar and spring being the orange bar. Again, a lot of great celebrations here. We had fall to spring increases in all but 3 grade levels. They were the same 3 grade levels. 7th grade barely dropped, so pretty consistent there. 9th and 10th grades did have some drops again. Again, they had very, very strong starts and still had very strong finishes. Definitely want to be trending in the other direction, but we're very proud of their accomplishments and know that the spring assessment is a little bit tricky after coming off of ISASP, so they did pretty well overall. When we look at those growth targets again, we did exceed our goal of 60% at 2 of our grade levels, 1st and 2nd, and we had 6 grade levels and the district as a whole exceeding that national norm of 50% compared to 4 grade levels last year. With our third metric, we are looking at the percentage of students making any growth in reading, and you do notice that similar trend that we've seen in the past with those higher percentages of younger students making growth. 99% of our first grade students made growth in this area, so really close again with those first grade students to that 100% goal. And then 8th grade is the standout for secondary again, with nearly 70% of their students making any growth. Moving into science. We are up nearly 1% fall to spring in the area of science, and again, this is administered at grades 5 through 10. This is the first time that we've seen a fall to spring increase in the area of science since we began administration of this assessment. One thing I noted when I was analyzing the results and thinking about the why behind that is in reading and math, those curricula are really designed to be a spiraled curriculum where you revisit standards throughout the year until you reach mastery. In science, you learn a unit and then you move on. So those are things that we continue to think about, how we keep some of these concepts at the forefront, especially when we go into test preparation time prior to ISASP. So just another implication as we analyze some of these results. Proficiency by grade level at science is pretty even, and that is more typical of what we see for our science assessments. All grade levels were at or above 50%, and 4 of our 6th grade levels are at or above 60%. 6th grade is really, really close there to that 60% line. So most grade levels met that goal. When we compare fall to spring, there's not quite as much variance here. 7th and 8th grade are our standout grades with improved performance from fall to spring. And again, we just thinking about cycling back to some of those concepts could yield some more positive results in the spring for us. When we look at the percentage of students meeting or exceeding their growth targets, again, we are looking at 3 grade levels that are at or above that national average, that teal line. And then 7th grade was our standout grade here, exceeding that 60% goal of students meeting their growth targets in the area of science. For the percentage of students making any growth, we had 3 grade levels exceeding 70%. 5th grade even exceeded 80%. And again, we had higher grade levels that had lower percentages of students making growth because of those higher RIT scores in those upper grade levels. So that brings down our district average just slightly without testing those 1st through 4th graders that have the lower RIT scores and typically make more growth. As I said, we really do use this data to determine our next steps. So I know at the school level, they really dig into it to make sure they have solid transition plans for each of their students and to look at their class placements and how to start with strong supports in the fall. We also have some action at the district level. We know that our multi-tiered systems of support is really the work. That is what makes sure that we are meeting the needs of all of our students, and that will continue to be our main focus and priority. This year, we are including a new component, new to some. We've formalized the process of unit internalization, which is really that deep understanding of a unit before you prepare individual lessons to teach the unit. This is a practice that a lot of our teachers have already been engaging in, but we are really dedicating time, professional learning, and some processes to ensure that all of our students or all of our teachers have the opportunity to engage in this work collaboratively for all content areas. So we're very excited to be launching that in August. We will have continued implementation of work through our Comprehensive Literacy State Development Grant. We just received great news that our local literacy plan was approved, which means we will get ongoing funding, and that is a great celebration so we can continue some of this great work. The unit internalization plans came as a result of that work, and we said, you know what, we need to apply this to all content because it's best practice, but that's one example of the great work coming from that. We've also put together something I'm really excited about called an instructional resource or instructional routine hub, which it really outlines best practices for literacy, But I've always said everybody's a reading and writing teacher. We don't just read and write in our English classrooms. So we have some really great instructional routines around understanding vocabulary, how we read and write informational text that apply to social studies, business, trades. And we want to make sure that our teachers have professional learning around those best practices and instructional routines across content areas to strengthen our literacy. In the area of math, we are implementing updated math curricular resources, which you previously approved for grades 6 through 12. So we're really excited about our plan to have dedicated professional learning opportunities as we roll out and implement our updated resources in that area, beginning again in August with some very strategic and planned opportunities. Our principals and specialists have already been engaging in some of that learning. And then for science, we will be implementing those new science curricular resources in grades K-5 and also have some dedicated professional learning planned for that. With that, I would be happy to answer any questions you may have.
I have a question. Can you expand on what unit internalization means? I know you explained it a little bit, but yeah, a little more info.
Yes, so really the best practice is that teachers will look at, there's front matter for any unit that talks about what the key standards are, how to backward plan. They will look at the assessments that students will take. They are actually even encouraged to take the assessment as if they are a student to see what might some misconceptions be, to plan for some of those scaffolds that students might need. They're looking at that arc of learning and how each lesson builds upon it throughout the unit. So they see, where do I need to spend more of my time? What's going to be the most important as they think about pacing that unit for their planning. And so it's just getting into that deep understanding before you launch day-to-day lessons.
Okay, thank you. That makes more sense. Thank you.
This is going to get slightly off topic, but then come back to topic. So you mentioned, the three, plans as far as for literacy, for math, and for science. And this past legislative cycle, there was a stronger push from starting to focus kids away from curriculum that's screen-based and more paper and pencil. Are there any concerns with our current plans that we have in our, and like the new math curriculum that got approved and everything? Are there any concerns about that possibly going against that sort of mandate, or there are no concerns?
That particular bill focuses on elementary, and our new math resources are secondary, so that should not have any kind of conflict. We have looked at our resources. There are some components for students where there are digital or paper pencil options available, so we are going to be working with principals to look at what's necessary to be on the computer and where do we give students those breaks for that screen time. So I feel very confident that with the resources we have enough options to get them off the screen that there won't be a concern. And it does allow for those differentiated options in terms of if they need an adapted resource such as Lexia, Amira, to meet their specific learning needs. That does not impede with the 60-minute time limit in the day. So we should be in great shape with that.
Awesome, cool. And it's just a comment, but it's exciting to see the growth in all three bands. That's exciting.
Thank you. Yes, it will be at Summer Academy. So some of our teachers who piloted the resource have had initial professional learning, and then we will have that dedicated professional learning for all math teachers at Summer Academy. Because that is optional, if they aren't able to attend that day, then we have a makeup session their first week back on contract, so that will really launch it. And then we have some other dedicated sessions throughout the year where we will have the Imagine Learning team come in to provide professional learning, some to leaders and then some to the teachers.
Excellent. Anything further from the board? Tracy, do you have anything?
Dr. Matthews could send me the pictures so I can see them. That would be fantastic.
Yes,
Sure will.
you're welcome.
All right, nothing further. Thank you, Dr. Matthews. Anything else, Superintendent?
Nope, that concludes our presentation.
All right, thank you very much. That brings us to the business portion of our meeting. First resolution for tonight is student fee schedule. Is there a motion?
Move that the board approve the student fee schedule for the 2026-2027 school year as presented.
Thank you.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion regarding the fee schedule?
I just had a question. I know we've spoken about this in the past, but I think a good reminder about who's eligible for the waiver or reduction, what that looks like if somebody needs that.
So the reduction is around the free and reduced eligibility. But I would like to invite David to the podium because there is one change that occurred on the sheet that I'd like David to speak to, and that's the driver education. And so, David, if you would please kind of speak to that, and then we'll field any more questions you might have about the layout.
Yeah, previously on the driver's ed, you had, we had listed 300, I think it was 85 and $70 last year. Or it could be 380 or 385, one of the two. But that was the rates that we were paying to Street Smarts, okay? So previously, Street Smarts was struggling getting drivers, you know, and so in our area, so we had to expand it, and we added more driving school. Then we also added the Iowa Western Community College, and because of that, well, those contracts were a little bit different, and our fee schedule was listed a little bit differently. So this is, the change that you're really seeing is we actually have contracts with both Moore Driving School and Iowa Western Community College. And that, and then the rates that I reached out to Street Smarts to try to get what the rates would be. And they were like, well, we really don't have a contract. It's been, like, one that we've had was an old, we purchased it from the company we purchased, you know, actually took over. And the rates that they were quoting me then were higher than what we currently had contracts with. So I decided, is like, we're not going to use Street Smarts. That's not who we're going to recommend. So we're going to be recommending to schools to use both Moore Driving School and the Iowa Western Community College moving forward. We have not increased any other fees associated. So all the rest of them are the same.
So I think the original question was the eligibility for the fee waiver?
Yeah, I was just curious, since most, like our whole district can access like free lunch, how that looks with the reduction.
So our district isn't 100% free and reduced. It's only through the CEP program, the Community Eligibility Program is what that
Gotcha.
stands for,
Okay.
that we get 100%. David,
Yes.
we're what, about 67%?
Yeah.
Okay, because I
And
knew
the
it was
other
about
side of
70.
it is,
Okay.
the
So that's
fee
what's
waiver
involved at.
is a annual request that has to be filled out on an annual basis. So families, it's not something just because you're on a CEP or on a direct certification, they still have to fill out the waiver form each
Yes,
year.
okay.
And that's the piece that gives them the right to have that fees waived. And sometimes, you know, we are very flexible on that. There are times, especially when it comes to students who are graduating and families that had not necessarily previously filled out those forms. If they get them filled out, we will grant those and we will waive those. You know, and so we really work with the families on that front. But that's something that's an annual basis that people get confused. you
Yes,
know.
that's what
And
I was
about that,
thinking.
it is
So
an
thank you.
annual waiver that has to be filled out on an annual basis.
Yes, because I see that misconception out there. Thank you.
Yeah.
Great.
Ms. Greiner?
Yeah, I'm sure we've probably talked about this in the past, but have we looked at a reduced fee for the student activity pass?
We did make some concessions to that, and Tim, that was the work that you did around the family pass. Do you want him to explain where we are?
Sure.
Okay, Mr. Hamilton, would you do that for me?
So we have had fees for sports for years, for every sport. What we've done the last couple of years, instead of paying fees for multiple sports and then having a fee for activity pass, you can do a $40 fee for, I think it's $40, it's staying $40 for the activity pass, and then there is a reduced rate if they fill out the fee waiver for that as well.
Thank you.
So clarity for that, Mr. Hamilton, that $40 is for students, or is that a family pass?
That's for students.
That's right. So
Yes.
that's a student. I just wanted it to be clear
Yep.
in case they went back
And
and
that covers
watched.
their fees to play sports, and then they get an activity
they get
pass
an
with that, because we want to promote kids coming to the events.
Right.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the board?
No.
Any other clarity needed?
But Mr. Nicholson, you might just sit on that front row for me.
Okay, seeing as there's nothing further, Mrs. Stratsky, please call our roll.
Ms. Hardeman?
Yes.
Ms. Myers?
Yes.
Dr. Rosello? Yes. Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mr. Tripp?
Yes,
Mrs. Greiner?
Yes.
Mr. Kozire?
Yes.
the motion carries. Next, we have approval of an interfund loan between Save Fund and the Management Fund. Is there a motion?
I'll move that we approve a resolution to authorize a loan between the Save Fund and the Management Fund with an effective date of July 1st, 2026.
Thank you.
Second.
A motion and a second. Dr. Morello, could you please give us some
Yes,
background
this
on
is what I wanted Mr. Nicholson to really talk through for the board and for our community to understand.
All right, this is something new to this district that it's my understanding. A lot of schools have to do interfund loans, and one of the things that back in the day, if you guys ever remember the program called ICECAP, you know? And so an ICECAP was an anticipatory warrant program where you could participate and estimate your cash flow needs, and then you could actually borrow money, get money through that program to help meet your cash flow needs. Because a lot of times, that was generally, for the most part, was a general fund concept type of thing, because state aid only comes, starts in September, so you don't have state aid in July or August, and so sometimes you have cash flow needs, okay? So this is a cash flow need on the management fund side of things, because, you know, back in June of '22, we had a balance about $2.4 million, or say, in cash at that point in time. And our expenses was lower than that for the year. And when you think about management fund, most of your expenses occur the start of the year, okay? For the most part, your property casualty, your workers' comp, a lot of your insurance. If you had early separation payouts, you had that usually happens the first part of the year. And so you need to have a balance to be able to cover those expenses. Well, the last few years, our balance has dropped from about 2.4 million 22. Now it's projected to be about 1.5 million at the close of this fiscal year. So, and we levied for next year $4.9 million, and that's a couple $100,000 more than what I anticipate the expenses are. But we also expanded, because we expanded what we were doing. Okay, so a year ago, we added a storm protection fund for the wind and hail deductibles, and so that was a little over $200,000. And this year, we actually we did that, and that didn't increase. That was a flat, you know, because there wasn't really much draw out of that program. So this year, we've added the Iowa local government risk pool purchase for natural gas purchases. You know, so we added that, and so that was about $283,000 to participate in that program. And then we also expanded our equipment breakdown program to add HVAC to the program, to the mix. So our needs are about $4.7 million with everything. And so we have about 1.5. Well, there's a shortfall there, but we're going to get the money. It's the property taxes are coming in. But don't property taxes, as we all know, September and March when you pay them. So our big influx of money will come in September, but the revenue goes into county in September, and we get the big chunk of it in October. So the bulk of that money, if you look at the reason why we put a date as July 1st, 2026, it is important to say that's when it starts, because under the law, you have to repay that by the 1st of October the following year. So if we would have approved that and said the loan tonight in 2026, those funds would have to have been repaid October 1 of 2026, okay? And we would not have the money by October 1st to repay that in
Right.
2026. So that's why it's important that it's written in such a way that's, so we won't transfer the funds until October 1st. October 1st of July 1st, and we will repay it most likely, most of that will be repaid off, if not all of it, by the end of October. So, does that make sense?
Yes. Nope, I remember clearly discussing the slight increase to the levy because of the management fund
Yeah.
needing.
Yes, 50 cent, I think it was, that was, yeah.
Questions for David?
So it says that a temporary interfund loan of up to 1.7 million. So how much is the loan going to be for?
It will be close to that amount, it really will.
Okay.
I mean, we will move probably a good 1.5 probably right away. I don't want to borrow as much, it's kind of timing. We'll look at it and we'll move it as we need, but we'll keep monitoring that, so we don't want to end up in a negative, position, all that. And then that rate is what we're paying back, is what the going rate of what ICE jet funds are getting, and that's what the rate that we're paying back interest, because that's something we have to do, is pay back interest. We can't just do it interest-free. We have to pay a little bit of interest on that.
We're paying ourselves.
Yep, correct. Yep,
From
yep.
general fund, no, not general fund.
So this is, I just want to also make it clear that based on our cash position in management fund, I would expect this to be recurring for a number of years moving forward, the timing, just until we build up that balance. Because one of the things is, there are schools out there, if you remember the legislative session this year, they capped how much management fund that you could have, okay? So there are schools out there that have been sitting and levying a lot in the management fund, sitting a lot of money in their management fund. We've been very mindful and very respectful of our patrons, and only levying truly what we needed. We weren't sitting on a whole lot of extra money. And so that in situations like this, when you expand a program to add something to it, this is where you can have these situations come up. So, where you have to borrow. And it's not a bad thing. We're borrowing it from ourselves, we're repaying it ourselves. So it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's something that I think we do want to every year add a little bit more to try to build that balance up.
Anything further?
There you go.
You do.
Thank you, Mr. Nichols.
Yep.
Seeing as there's no further questions or comments, Mrs. Strowski, please call our roll.
Ms. Myers?
Yes.
Dr. Rosello?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mr. Tripp?
Yes.
Mrs. Greiner?
Yes.
Mr. Kozire?
Yes.
Ms. Hardeman?
Yes.
The motion carries. Next, we have approval of MOU with Green Hills AEA for the EC Letters Professional Learning. Is there a motion?
I move that the board approves the MOU with Green Hills AEA for Early Childhood Letters, LETRS, training as presented.
Second.
Thank you. Motion is second. Any discussion? Just for public comment, it's the Early Childhood Language Essentials for Teachers of Reading and Spelling. That's what LETRS stands for. Okay. Nothing from the board? Okay. Mrs. Strowski, please call our roll.
Mrs. Greiner?
Yes.
Ms. Myers?
Yes.
Dr. Rosello?
Yes.
Mr. Tripp?
Yes.
Mr. Kozire?
Yes.
Ms. Hardeman?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
The motion carries. Next, we have modification to interim superintendent's contract. Is there a motion?
I move that the board approve the modification to interim superintendent's contract as presented.
Thank you.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion from the board regarding this modification?
Should we have an explanation for the public since this is?
Certainly. So the original contract had a start date of, I believe, July 9th. And because of that, the contract would have ended up in two separate school year calendars. So we had to just move it back to a July 1 to June 30. That's the only change. It's just in the term itself, no other changes being done. Any other questions? Also, the reason for that is he had a pre-planned vacation, so we moved it out. Instead, he's going to have to use vacation for the first week, just because he won't be here. So and he's aware of that. All right, nothing further. Mrs. Strasky, please call our roll.
Ms. Myers?
Yes.
Dr. Rosello? Yes. Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mr. Tripp?
Yes.
Mr. Kozire?
Yes.
Mrs. Greiner?
Yes.
Ms. Hardeman?
Yes.
The motion carries. Next, we have a resolution for CTE virtual headsets. Is there a motion?
I move that the board approves the purchase of 2 sets of Class VR with software and training from Avantis Education, Inc. in the amount of $47,795 as presented.
Second?
A motion and a second. Any comment from the board?
I love that this really, we aren't paying for. It's a Google donation, and we're just using their funds again, and thank you, Google.
Yes. We do appreciate the continued partnership that Google brings with the Council Bluffs Community School District.
And I do want to thank Ms. Colmine for working on this grant with Mr. Stile. They worked in partnership with me with Google, and we really do appreciate their partnership and the work that they do. This really will enhance our CTE program, so we're super excited to get this in our health sciences.
Anything further from the board? Mrs. Strasky, please call our roll.
Mr. Tripp?
Yes.
Ms. Myers?
Yes.
Dr. Rosello? Yes. Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mr. Kozire?
Yes.
Ms. Hardeman?
Yes.
Mrs. Greiner?
Yes.
And the motion carries. Next, we have concrete repair. Concrete. All right, we have concrete repair for TJ High School and many other, Wilson, Bloomer, Carter Lake, Hoover, Longfellow, Roosevelt. Is there a motion?
I would be honored to move for the approval of the repair of concrete from Thomas Jefferson, Wilson, Bloomer, Carter Lake, Hoover, Longfellow, and Roosevelt to Sheared Construction in the amount of $223,068.75 as presented.
Second?
Motion and a second. Any discussion from the board?
I guess I wanted to make it clear when we get to the next one. I'm assuming that all of the schools were listed on one paper. They weren't divided up. They were all listed, and these came in low. This company came in low for these schools, and then another company came in low for the other schools. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is correct. They all came out, they all did have fours, at least 2.
Okay.
And
So some clarification for our community. We have several schools that have areas that need to be repaired. We call them the worst areas that have concrete. And this is various to parking lots, curbs, sidewalks, etc. And so in bidding these number of schools for summer repair is what we're voting on tonight. And as we laid out the need, the bids came in, and so we had 2 different contractors that bid the work that had the lowest bids. So that's why they're divided up.
Oh, okay. And these will both be coming, well, I mean, this one, the current agenda item we're on is coming out of the Pebble or Save Fund.
They will both be Pebble and
Yes.
Safe.
Yeah, yeah.
I presume we're also looking into what we've done at previous concrete, sealing the seams and all of that to make sure, okay,
Mhm.
that we don't run into the same.
Using concrete that was salt friendly,
Yeah.
or ice melt friendly rather. So, yeah.
Anything further from the board?
It says hi to you.
If you have any further, you can ask at the next one. Mrs. Strasky, please call our roll.
Mrs. Greiner?
Yes.
Dr. Rosello? Yes. Mr. Kozire?
Yes.
Ms. Myers?
Yes.
Mr. Tripp?
Yes.
Ms. Hardeman?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
And the motion carries. And since we love repairing concrete, we have another resolution for concrete repair to AL High School, Canesville, Kern, College View, Edison, Franklin, Lewis and Clark, and Rue. Is there a motion?
I move for the approval of the repairs of concrete from ALHS, Abraham Lincoln High School, Canesville, Kern, College View, Edison, Franklin, Lewis and Clark, and Rue to Fisher Building Solutions in the amount of $236,000 or $236,146 as presented.
Thank you.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion regarding these set of buildings for concrete repair? I suppose my only real question is, do we give out bid for everything? And it seems odd that there's two companies bidding instead of one giving us a better bid for all of them combined, unless it was a matter of timing and they couldn't get them all done.
So what happens is we have, with our concrete, these smaller jobs allow us to avoid engaging in large engineering firms, and so we can be very strategic in the concrete work that needs to be done, because the larger contractors, they like to take the whole parking lot out or the whole area, when it's really, we want them to be strategic.
Okay, that makes sense. See, there was another comment about concrete.
So many questions.
Anything further from the board?
I know we joke about concrete, but I do appreciate that our parking lots are safe and that they look presentable. And so I am thankful that we do get to pass these.
All right, Ms. Ostrowski, please call our roll.
Dr. Rosello. Yes. Mrs. Greiner.
Yes.
Ms. Myers.
Yes.
Mr. Kozire.
Yes.
Mr. Tripp.
Yes.
Ms. Hardiman.
Yes.
Mr. Peters.
Yes.
I like that, yes, that was a good one. I was excited about that. Motion carries. Motion carries with fervor. All right, next up, we have approval of substitute rates. Is there a motion?
I move that the board approves to increase substitute rates for the 26-27 school year as presented.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Second. Oh,
A motion and 2 seconds. We're excited about this, as you can see. Is there any discussion from the board regarding substitute rates for this coming year?
Well, I have something that I thought would be worthy of sharing. I looked at some districts in our area, but specifically the UEN as well, and our rates are competitive, if not higher, so that's great for our area. And just to show our employees, like, we really do appreciate you and the work that you do, especially since we're coming back in-house and offering great benefits with that. I do have a question. I noticed in some of the other districts, they listed nutrition, so I'm curious if we have any information about our nutrition rates, since it's not listed on the table.
Joanna, do you have where we are with those? I'm sure we have subs or they cover each other's.
Yeah, and I wasn't sure if they were like overlapping within that
We
table.
do. So, yep, we do have each of those areas, and I can provide that updated document if you'd like. The cook and server, we're at $13.50 an hour. And what was there another?
No, and that,
nutrition?
just with the information I wrote down from
Yeah.
some other districts, that does still put us ahead, so that's great to hear.
It does. We
So I
did
was
a
curious about
rate
that.
comparison across the UEN and looking at it, and it really does make us more competitive, and we are excited to bring our subs back in-house, so, yes.
We appreciate that work.
And Ms. Litz, we also have a sub rate for our custodial staff and facilities.
We do, and it's $14.50 an
Yeah.
hour.
This is really the school content area, but we have those
That's
for
great.
also.
We do as well, yeah. Yeah, we value all of our employees.
Oh, it's great to see that we're being competitive, not only with UEN, but our local districts, plus we have OPS on the side, and we're bringing our subs back in, so they qualify for IPERS now as well, so.
Yes.
like,
Exactly.
What a bonus for all of our subs.
Yeah.
And so a little shout out to Joanna's department. They're already onboarding subs. I
Yes.
think we were substitutes, we were 40, and you have 20 that's following up and getting things in. And I will say that her kind of figuring out where's our sweet spot, we cannot be competitive with OPS. We have no idea how they're funding what they're funding. But we are very competitive in our area, and especially with the school just to the south of us.
Yes. And this Thursday is our very first onboarding day for our substitutes. We have about 20 substitutes coming in for onboarding, where they'll receive tech support, get their badges, and some school swag too. So
Great, good job. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
And I do appreciate paraeducators increase, priority paras, and admin assistants. It's quite an increase, so that's great.
Anything further from the board? Mrs. Straski, please call our roll.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mrs. Greiner?
Yes.
Dr. Ozello? Yes. Mr. Kozire?
Yes.
Mr. Tripp?
Yes.
Ms. Myers?
Yes.
Ms. Hardeman?
Yes.
And the motion carries. Last matter of business and resolutions tonight is the employee handbook revisions. Is there a motion?
I move that the board approve the revisions to the employee handbook as presented.
Second?
Goes there. And a second. Any discussion from the board regarding these proposed language revisions?
I have a question. Were these requested by ISEA, the teachers union, or?
They're in collaboration. Ms. Letts, you can join me. They're in collaboration. You know that we have the meeting monthly, and also Julie Foster was helping finalize this for us. So, Ms. Letts, if you want to talk about that.
Yes, so this was in collaboration with the union. It was very supported between the district and the union, came together and came up with this language. It really just some clarifications. You know, as you notice, some of these, an example is the vacation language. There's no change to the benefits, but it was just outdated language there. It just adds some clarity. The same thing for the extra co-curricular assignments. Just make sure that there are some extra duties, things like the ELPA 21, which is for our ELL students, as you know. That does require extra professional development. So just letting them know in that handbook that that's at $30 an hour for that.
I had a question about page 58, the assault, battery, and traumatic incident response. And I was just kind of curious about the affected employee shall be granted up to 1 hour. Is that flexible depending upon the situation, or is it always an hour, or is that enough time? I just was kind of wondering about that.
Yeah, that's a great question. So obviously from a compassionate response, those are things we hope and we never want to happen, right, to any staff member. But it's something that we also want to be very responsive about. And again, in collaboration and support with the union, really talked about how can we best support a staff member if something like that did occur. But it would be flexible if needed. As a former principal myself, you know, that is something that we'd work individually with the teacher or the staff member around as needed.
Right, that's 1 hour of kind of get your composure without
Yes.
having to take vacation or sick time. Otherwise, I
Correct.
mean, if you are having a hard time, you could leave if needed, but this is an hour that the school district is giving them to
Yes,
recover.
absolutely.
Was your question if that's enough, or how they landed on the number? Or
Well, it was kind of all of those things, like if an incident happens in the morning, is 1 hour enough? Or if it's a bigger incident, is 1 hour enough? But, I mean, I respect that everybody has been working hard on that in collaboration, so, I mean, you guys are the experts, so.
And that fits with the end of the statement as well. It gives them an hour to also get in contact with possibly the school nurse or health associate for any sort of, you know, if it was a escalated sort of situation like that where it was
Right.
needed.
It doesn't say that within the hour, the last sentence, as well as provide time.
Oh, yeah, thank you,
And so
sorry.
it adds on that time. It's just it kind of gives the parameters so that those administrators or whoever's covering the classroom kind of knows you at least need to protect at least an hour for them.
Okay.
And then we'll move forward from there.
Okay, gotcha. That makes, yeah, thank you for that clarification.
Great.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the board? All right, Mrs. Strauski, please call our roll.
Dr. Ozello? Yes. Mrs. Greiner?
Yes.
Ms. Myers?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mr. Tripp?
Yes.
Ms. Hardeman?
Yes.
Mr. Kozire?
Yes.
And the motion carries. Move on to our consent agenda. I may have to take a break in between reading this. It's very long tonight. So the consent agenda includes approval of membership fees to the UEN, IASB, and ISFIS, renewal of paper cut MF maintenance and support, annual renew of 5-star dashboard and data analytics, annual renew of Power School, SIS hosting, maintenance, and enrollment, renewal of Nutanix, annual renewal of 1-to-1 Plus, annual renewal of Securely, renewal of Itopia Cloud Apps Classroom, annual renewal of Follett Library Software, annual renewal of Zello, annual renewal of ClassLink subscription, approval of Bridges K-5 math unit refill kits, approval of secondary English language arts curricular resource extension, special education contract with Avena Health Services, special education contract with Southwest Iowa Transit Agency, special education contract Family First Nursing, public records fees, approval of contract for Northwest Evaluation Association map assessments, approval of renewal of Imagine Learning Edgenuity Renewal 2627, approval of community partners to provide school-based therapy, approval of renewal of Move This World Riverside Insights, approval of renewal of Character Strong, and the approval of renewal is really getting me. Approval of special education students placed outside of Council Bluffs Community School District at Prime Home, our personnel action, and claims and accounts.
I move approval of our consent agenda.
Thank you.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion regarding consent agenda items?
I just want to thank the district for having membership in IESB and ISFIS and the UEN. It's been obviously really beneficial to us and our learning objectives. So that's great that we get to have that opportunity.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, ISFIS helps out on the financial side. IASB helps with continuing education, and the UEN keeps us plugged into legislative updates and lobbies for all of the UEN schools as well. So very, very much appreciated with their partnerships. Mrs. Strowski, please call our roll.
Ms. Hardeman?
Yes.
Ms. Myers?
Yes.
Dr. Rosello? Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mr. Tripp?
Yes.
Mrs. Greiner?
Yes.
Mr. Kozire?
Yes.
And the consent agenda is passed. One last thing I wanted to bring up is, Dr. Murillo, this is your very last meeting here with the Council Bluffs Community School District, and I wanted to give time for the board to, I hopefully give you praise as much as I want to give you praise, and thank you for your time here. You have been a wonderful person to work for. As far as superintendents go, I've only known one. So the next person is going to have big shoes to fill. You've been probably, if not the most, one of the most professional people I've ever worked with. And you are always prepared. You're always ready for anything. You are a fantastic relationship builder. You know the answer to every question I've ever asked. And you've made my role as not just the school board president, but just as a board member so much easier than I thought it was going to be, because you're always there ready for me. So I want to thank you for all the time you've put in here with our district. And I'll open the floor to the rest of the board.
Oh, yes, I'd like to second that as well. It's been a rather short time I've been on the board, but the time you've been, as Jared already so eloquently said, one of the most professional people I've ever worked with. And I think probably it was a open working session, so I could talk about this. But one of our legislative meetups with our local legislators was probably that was always one of my favorite working sessions every year, because to see not only what you're looking towards with our school district in the days, but also upcoming years, and almost like you're predicting the future. and just the relationships that you've built with with outside community members around our district has just been absolutely phenomenal. I'm definitely going to miss working with you every day. I'm very happy for you for your new position. I'm going back to Independence, kind of going back home as it were. But I'm very sad to see you leaving. But thank you.
Just go down the line. I want to really thank you. We've had several wonderful meetings, private ones, great ones. You have pushed us in a direction that I am so proud of. And I'm so proud that I get to say, I'm from Council Bluffs Community School District, and this is what we're doing. And a lot of other school districts want what we have. And we're sad to lose you. Happy for your life. And you know where we are. Thank you.
When I think about you, Dr. Morello, what stands out most to me as memorable are those quiet moments that not everybody gets to see publicly, that we get to see as a board, whether it's at ISB, and just the passion you have. I think about some of the UEN dinners we've been at, and I just have seen those moments where I'm like, oh, I just wish so much of the community could see how much you fight for our kids. And I mean, the board before us, I know, saw so much in you and what you could bring to us and help us be aligned as a community and a district, and it's great, but I think people forget, like, you're amazing, and just some of the great things you've done. I just think specifically for our SPED students, and that's where my heart is. And I just think so many people forget that, and I always, kind of stand up for you too, because I'm like, you guys don't realize how much she fights for our kids and truly makes a difference. So I'm going to miss that. But then also our push too, with you being a leader of us furthering our education. And you easily could have been like, you can do it as a board, but you did it yourself too as a superintendent and have been a fierce leader. And it's just been amazing, even though it's been a short amount of time. Like I said, so proud of you, but definitely going to miss your work and your impact in our community.
To begin with Dr. Bruckner leaving you with the work that she and the previous boards were able to set in place. What I like to think about was that Dr. Bruckner set you up for success, and you hit the ground running. When I look at the number of students' lives that you've affected in Council Bluffs, I'm trying to think that, when we were looking at, you've touched the lives of over 15,000 students in our district. You go to the schools, you sit and eat lunch with them. They know you as a person, and that's what we saw in you as we were going through the interview process, is that your compassion for everyone. You see the good in everyone. You expect the good to come from everyone, and it's been a great ride. I mean, you've taken us to new heights. You're choking me up, but it's been so much fun to be with you, and to see what our students have been able to do. You've caused us to focus every meeting on student achievement. We had that before, but you have been able to bring us together as a board superintendent team to truly focus on what is best for students. It might not be the easiest thing for our adult staff, our teachers, our administrators, but you know that what we've implemented is truly best for students and for their lives. And I look at the number of students' lives that you've changed. I mean, just this last year, we had just this last graduation, we had 139 students walk across the stage at Iowa Western Community College. And before that, we had 129, and before that, we had 100, and before that, we had 80, and before that, I mean, so when we look at it, and the numbers that came up, you know, the millions of dollars families have been able to save because of your vision of what Diploma Plus One can do for changing people's lives. And it just makes me want to continue to be a board member because I know the impact that we're making on students' lives is a good impact. It's changing lives in this community. So thank you so much.
Well, I've only been here for 3 years. But the thing that I have really enjoyed from you is that we're all 7 different people, but all 7 of us need different guidance. And for me personally, you have given me a lot of direction on so many things that I didn't know that I was missing until I got on the board and I was like, uh-oh, I've jumped into a very deep pool. But you were able to guide me in a way that always felt supportive and always felt encouraging. And even when sometimes the words needed to be a little bit stronger, I always felt that it was coming from a place of making all of us better. And I didn't realize how out of the ordinary our board work and our superintendent relationship was until we were at our retreat, and Luann said, "You all are exceptional. This is not the norm." And to me, for 3 years, this has been the norm. And it has lit a fire inside of me to fight for public education that I did not ever know was quite so strong. Where it has been talking to legislators or talking to our community members about all the wonderful things that we are doing in our district, and to not let any of that passion go astray, because we're all fighting for the same thing, and it's always been our North Star. It's always been our students. And I mean, I leave our board work feeling fulfilled and feeling energized and feeling activated. And I'm especially thankful because, you know, I have 2 kids in this district, and there has not been a day that's gone by that I do not feel like they have the best opportunities out there, that they can do whatever they want, and they are surrounded by caring adults. I mean, we have goal number 4, and I've seen that time and time again with my own kids, my kids' friends, kids that I have just met across our community. And I wish that all of the public can see how hard that you work. I could email you, I could text you, and I would get a response within the hour. So I tried to be mindful of your time. But it's really been an honor seeing how the best way that we could work. And it's been really great. And of course, I'm 3 years in. I don't have like decades like Dave, but it has been a really great experience, and I'm really thankful for your leadership.
Dr. Azzello?
I think what I have taken away as a co-educator is it has been a privilege to see the decision-making side and how that is processed and what thoughts get put into that, and that has been so wonderful to me as a school mom, as a school advocate, as an educator, just being able to see that, I feel like has grown me in many ways. I greatly admire the professionalism with our board, with our community, with all of us, and the expectations that you have of everyone. And please enjoy those grandkids.
Thank you, Board. Before we close, just one last thing. I didn't want to take all the things that you guys had to say, but just wanted to appreciate the fact that you have provided us this North Star. It has been our guiding light for this district, and the board agrees this is the direction that we're going to keep going. You've given us the point, and we're going to keep reaching for that. You are the most inspiring leader I've ever worked for, and I both admire you and aspire to be more like you. So I appreciate that. You are a very important and large pillar of this community, and I don't know if the community really understands what they're losing with you. So Independence, lucky to have you.
Very.
You're welcome. That's all I have.
Your turn.
We are adjourned.
No,
Oh,
but
Dr.
you-
Morello, do you have anything to say? True, yeah.
Yes.
Well,
Come on.
Open the
Well,
floor
let's
to you.
see. I should have bet with my team how long this meeting would last. I might have made a little money tonight. No.
More things I could say.
Tell you that without a good school board, none of this could happen. And I can tell you that way back when I came through the interview process, it was the board that really swayed me. I remember when I called my family, my husband was with me, and when I said, "You wouldn't believe what the board talked about," my son goes, "That's the first thing you've ever said about a board." And I knew that this board would allow us to achieve because of the focus that we had. So I don't even know I'm getting emotional. This should be a celebration. But
Celebration.
so anyway, I do appreciate that you became a board of learning. And, you know, what is so amazing is that David Nicholson will say, "I'm a matter-of-fact person." And so but Dave Kozire is the only one still here. But as board members grew on the board, you stayed focused on students. And that allowed us to support the work and build the teams. And I have a great cabinet that will be left here to carry on. And when you have a school district and you see your administrators and your teachers, I mean, we're down to like just 2 or 3 positions. And to know that the teachers and the parents, and I always joke with Mark and Melissa that if I get a parent call, it's kind of like, okay, what's going on? Because maybe I hear from one a month, if that, and that shows you that not only is it working among us, but we have been able to position over the last 9 years a great cabinet, great administrators, and really high quality. We are coming out of the pandemic farther ahead than other districts are, that are still grappling with, how do we back up? Mr. Tripp said 7th grade COVID kids, right? And we're still trying to catch them up. But look what's coming behind. Our teachers are putting in the time for that science of reading. That's the letters training. You'll see in the impact. Remember what I said a couple of years ago? Our ELA is staying stagnant. We got to find something. And I challenged Dr. Matthews. I need something for the communication, our ELA department, because our students aren't achieving. We've got to catch them. We've got to catch them. And you see what our teachers are doing. That letters training is not a one-day training. Bad letters training is a lot of work that our teachers are embracing because they want to see their students succeed. So all of this, I got to be the leader, but. Yep, it's good. Adjourned. All right, get your pen.
All right, we are adjourned.
Pen?
I brought one.
You got one? Because you got a lot to sign.
Got a lot to sign.